Hi and welcome to Plane Hunters. We've come to the Wings Museum in Sussex today, and the reason is because of this, a Merlin 20. Now, we recently made a film on a Merlin 20, just like this, except that one was from a Lancaster. This one is from a Halifax, and it works. The engine was fitted to a Mark II Handley Page Halifax bomber, similar to this. That aircraft, JD150, and its crew from 102 Squadron Royal Air Force were tasked to attack Hamburg on the 28th of July 1943. During the raid, for some reason, the aircraft fell away from the main bomber force. It was caught in a cone of searchlights and shot down by a German night fighter.
The aircraft impacted the ground and it was quite a boggy area. The engines actually disappeared under the ground. The rest of the fuselage and the rear tail section was still on top of the ground, and that was cleared away. That was sort of how it stayed until 2010, when a German historian who was researching the incident, he began exploring the crash site, and during that exploration he found some unexploded bombs, and at that point the German bomb disposal were called. They then began a recovery operation to recover the ordnance, and at that time they unearthed 4 Rolls Royce Merlin engines. There wasn't any local museums in Germany that were particularly interested in displaying them, so someone mentioned about scrapping them, but what else could they do with them? But luckily the historian stepped in and he began to seek a museum that might be interested. We were contacted. And then really over the next 12 months we had to liaise with the Ministry of Defence and the Berlin Embassy to actually get official permission to go and take custody of the engines, which is what we did.
Well, basically we acquired all 4 engines from the Handley Page Halifax, so it was a question then of finding the best of the 4, which was most likely to run. We really wanted right from the beginning to keep everything as original as possible. So therefore, whereas you could quite easily replace parts, we would rather repair parts and use the original. These parts here are the mounting for the engine, and they are the original engine mounts that were in JD150. So they're absolutely 100% original. And that's unique obviously to a Halifax, because each aircraft had its own kind of ways of mounting the engine. The other thing that makes this unique to a Halifax is this exhaust system here, which is called a saxophone exhaust. You see each of these here is an exhaust port. If it was in say a Spitfire, for example, then this would be a separate stub, and this would be a separate exhaust stub, and so on all the way down. The idea of this system, where you can see you've got this long kind of tube and then this flare here, this is the bit that kind of gives it the name, the saxophone exhaust, is designed to collect and suppress flame. Because the Bomber Command Halifaxes were operating at night time, flames from exhausts can be seen by night fighters for miles away if it's a clear night.
We're proud to say that a lot of effort has gone into preserving the original engine, a lot of repairs done, and it is 90% that aircraft, that engine. So we are actually calling it the Bomber Command Memorial Merlin. It's quite a mouthful, but it's run in memory of the crew.
To start the engine for the first time in public, the museum asked former Halifax pilot George Dunn to do the honours. But before the event, and in front of other Bomber Command veterans, he read aloud the names of the crew lost on that fateful night in 1943.
The pilot, Sergeant Gordon Harry Brown, aged 19. Navigator, Flying Officer William Joseph John Hitchcock, aged 32. Wireless Operator, Sergeant James Wesley Rook, aged 22. Air Gunner, Sergeant Edward Goff, age not known. Air Gunner Sergeant William Roy Sinclair, age not known. Flight Engineer Sergeant John Alfred Tyler, age not known. Bomb Aimer Flying Officer Robert Frederick William Allison, age not known. We will remember that.
For those veterans looking on, it was a special moment.
It takes everybody's memory back to an engine noise. It takes them back to when they probably heard them, 4 of them flying overhead. You never mistake the sound of a Merlin.
I'm wondering what sort of fuel they're using for it.
Of course, you had 4 of these, not just one, didn't you?
Yes. Very fond of the old Merlin.
We were thankful that they started and that they kept going. That was our own tribute to the Merlin engine. It was a very good engine.
It's been the aim to get a Halifax pilot, preferably to press the start button. And as you saw today, George Dunn did just that. And after a couple of attempts, I'm pleased to say that she fired. So it was absolutely fantastic. Really pleased.
To find out more about the engine, please visit the museum's website.